Countdown takes too long. I hate the countdown. It takes too long. It takes so long. Jamie
Jamie's
is
gone.
not here, and I don't understand why I don't understand why we go live and immediately meme pages decide to immediately post the second we go live. But that's good. I mean, they've got a schedule. We've got a schedule. So unless we much so bear with us 1 minute. We're just gonna have a look at this meme thing. Yep, that's right. Yeah.
What's going on with the MMU one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lots of MMU hate. Lots of MMU hate. And Jamie, you've got a one all to yourself right at the end. You've got your own little meme.
Where's you pulled that from? What did I hate on Hull last week? I thought I was actually quite complimentary. And said
you just hate on Hull forever.
You said they had one good player, and all I said was, if they get beat, they will go down as the worst team in Uniball. I said that I didn't think they'd get beat.
Get a grip, mate. Well, get a grip, mate, because it's week 3's done. It's in the books. There are some good scores, surprising scores, but I mean, a few games that are postponed. Still having some walkovers. You know, it's only been 1 week, and that was the first week, and there were only 2 games where we didn't have any walkovers. So
game's gone.
We will talk about that. So I mean, Teb's here, me, then SJ, and then Jamie at the bottom. Jamie's too busy building the Daily Bugle or something along those lines. Don't ask questions about the Daily Bugle.
Acting like you don't know to look cool. You're asking all about it before the stream started.
I wasn't. I don't build Lego. I build social media pages.
I'm also not building. I'm rebuilding.
No one cares.
Fair
Didn't
enough.
ask.
How many appearances did you get on a certain meme page post this week?
No, I didn't. No, that's true. Damn. So this will be my last episode of the Uniball show because there's no memes. There's no memes about me. I've fallen off. I've fallen off. Given that I've come last in the picks this week, and I stand by all of them, apart from some of them.
Shocking week for you.
Shocking picks. So we're going to talk about week 3, and that's it. That's what the premise of the show is. So cool. I will say the competition will be picked on the preview show for week 4. Thankfully,
how many comments are we on now?
We're
over 10.
We're on about 10.3, I think. If we got to 20,000, as Cam has said, Cam will finance Teb's Christmas calendar. So I don't think it's going to happen now, but if it happens, it happens.
So yeah, is that all we need to do for you to stop Tebs? Yeah, Frankie, it is. That's it. I don't need. It's very shallow. Like I'm on thin ice. I'm on thin ice about just no one ever hearing from me ever again. But before that, we are going to talk about week 3. So in the national premiership, we had 2 games.
Business as usual.
Business as usual. Nottingham Gold and UE coming away with the victory. I mean, 56-0 to the... Oh, I've got that the wrong way around. I've got Loughborough beating the Bullets. That didn't happen. So let me change it. 0-56. Does that tell you anything about Loughborough? Are they looking relegation worthy, or are you still putting on Leeds Beckett, who did manage to come away with at least some points this weekend?
Nah, it's still Beckett until I see something different. Until they play Loughborough.
Yeah.
Just get off the fence.
I'm not on the fence.
To be fair, he wasn't on the fence there. He did just say, and I do agree, it does come down to Beckett versus Loughborough. But if he was like, well, I don't know who to pick in that game. SJ, who would you pick in that game right now?
Loughborough.
Exactly, right? Simple as.
Okay.
But I mean,
what fence am I sitting on, mate?
Nottingham Gold, 51-12 to Leeds Beckett. Still looking good for the Gold. I do think it's still the case of the shows last week. We have to wait for Durham. Durham have started posting players who they've got in. It's looking pretty good. They're always like a well drilled side, but given that they haven't played yet, the picture of the National Premiership is still very much incomplete. So, with all respect, Bullets 56-0. I know that the DCS HR department had quite a good day, which is always good to see between Quinton and Gretzky. I know that Quinton got 2 passing touchdowns on the day. Let me have a gander.
Pick positions out of a hat this week or something, because they had an old lineman at wide receiver. Like,
why not?
No, Ethan didn't tell me his stats. He only told me Quinton's stats.
I think this new.
I'm really disappointed with this year, and I've looked every week. We're in week 3 now, and there is still not a Bafra news flash.
There is, but it's for week 1, I think.
It's for the week 0.
Didn't happen.
It was 2 games. Like, it's just not acceptable.
Oh, have I put the wrong score on the Lancashire one as well? Sorry, guys. I was doing it so quickly. But yeah, I mean, not really much in terms of the... Oh, no, I have got that the right way around.
Who's telling you haven't?
What's Lancashire?
Someone announced Charlie Martin as an Eagle.
Charlie Martin plays for MMU now. Well, what a move. Huge move.
What move? Teb streaming from Mexico. What's Charlie Martin done? What has he done? Or is this memes? It doesn't matter. We're not looking at memes. It's probably meme based. So I mean,
some tuddies.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, nothing much from the National Prem. If we move on to the Northern Prem, NTU get their first win of the season against Northumbria. Close game. Again, I still think this makes, Northumbria, considering how highly I rated the Renegades, it makes Northumbria look a lot better than I think they are. I think, it's finally time that, even from last week, to actually give Northumbria some credit here. They're not a one-man team, and I'm happy to admit that now.
It was also quite a late comeback as well, wasn't it? It was really close, and they scored with like a minute to go.
That division is just a mess. I don't think we're actually going to know who's going to top our division up until the last game of the season. I don't think that's going to be done before then.
Because a close game last week between Warwick and NTU. They've got another. I think they're facing off again next week. Is NTU versus Warwick, but it could be this weekend. But that'll be something we'll tackle on the preview show on Thursday or Friday. We haven't decided yet. But yeah, I do agree. I mean, Leeds obviously not looking fantastic. Warwick, they won it last year. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that's telling me that Warwick won't win it, but they haven't done much. I imagine it's going to be a bit more of a kerfuffle later on down the season. It will come down to the wire. We won't be able to say there is going to be a winner for this division in early January, mid-January. I think it's going to come down to the wire for the Northern Prem. Southern Prem, little bit different here. I mean, SGS playing their first game of the season. Given the scorelines that both Cardiff and Brunel put up against Portsmouth to only win by 19.
It sent some alarm bells ringing, I think. We're doing the coaches poll, which is coming out this Friday. And we're already seeing it reflected in people's rankings for that'll be the writers one or the coaches one, where SGS have fallen a tiny bit, which is odd. Normally when you win a game, you just stay where you are. But I think because everyone was expected probably this to be a 30, 40 odd blowout.
Did SGS also lose a preseason game to a Div 1 team?
Yes, but preseason wise,
I know, but I know we don't look at preseason and go, there's a lot to look into it. But after that, do you not think maybe looking into that? In that,
no,
it was a Bournemouth team. I don't think Bournemouth have also personally.
No, I don't think it's fair to go into preseason, especially with Uniball, because we don't know what the teams look like with Uniball. We don't know how long people have trained and come in. I know that we're talking about Bournemouth and SGS, two very good programs, but for me, it's the same as varsity. Like when we're talking about in league games, to try and like draw notes from, varsity or preseason, I think is a bit unfair because, all teams play their full league game rosters in those games. Who knows?
Fair enough.
And for me, it's, at least when it comes to league games, that they're going to come straight in. So Nathan, SGS lost their main running back, main DT, and another key starter to the Bullets. Would you class this as a rebuilding season for SGS?
So what you're telling me is SGS is
no.
Weak.
Well, it was said on DCS live stream, so you can say it, Craig. Good fun commentating with Craig McLeod yesterday, though. Very, very good fun. But no, the SGS are not capable of a rebuilding season. They're not a normal British University American football
team. They don't
team.
have them for anywhere near as long, do they?
No. It's like it's not the same. They'll bring in people who have been good and develop them, and then send them off. With all due respect, it's almost as though, and this may be a controversial take, that SGS's main goal in British University American football is not to win championships. It's to send people off to go and play in other countries. And that's a very admirable goal, but to say it's an to say it's a rebuilding year. Every year is a rebuilding year in Uniball. I wouldn't.
No, I agree with that.
I don't know how I feel about that statement. I don't. But like there are some teams that. Well, this is it. I think Chris Treacle's got a good point here in the sense of when teams don't have to focus too much on rebuilding, that's when they can really thrive.
Yes,
I'd say that's fair.
And I think maybe that's what SGS has had to do over the summer, is they've had to put together a new roster. So I don't think it's a rebuild year. And maybe that's why that score is as close as it is. I think Coach Herod himself said to us, like, there was a lot of mistakes, there was things going on. So there's still a lot to play for. But yeah, it's an interesting score. So
moving on to the other one, the one that we live streamed yesterday, Brunel versus Cardiff. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I do think Cardiff are a much better side than they have been in the previous years. But I think this is the real time where we may actually. Obviously, I know that SJ is probably a lot different here due to him being. There you go, Chris Trickle. Every year is a building year. Yeah, 100%. That's completely fair as a point. I think with the scoreline and just the performance of Brunel. Personally, I thought that this performance against Cardiff was more indicative of what I would have assumed Brunel would have done against Portsmouth, and what I think may be more indicative of what Brunel do for the rest of the season, which is, very much leaning on Davide Pinto and David Moore III, but then also being able to not sprinkle in the arm talent of Jelinski, but use it in a manner where you've got the other team off guard. I think that, and I don't think this is. I'm obviously not for you, SJ, but with the scoreline from SGS, Brunel, winning the South is now not as far-reaching of a pick as it probably was at the start of the season.
I don't think it was ever a far-reaching pick. Like, I don't think that. I think what it more now becomes is like one of the favourite picks rather than it being.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think it was ever like people like, whoa, that's outrageous. I think a lot of people thought.
I'd agree with that, Jamie. It's more the prevailing. It's become the prevailing pick for the Prem South.
Yeah,
right.
I was really impressed with Brunel yesterday because I watched it from about halfway through the first quarter. That's when I got back from work, and genuinely, I was like, "This is a high-level team."
Yeah,
that just looks like not that they're taking it easy, but it didn't look difficult.
Yeah, I mean,
this team hasn't played to its best ability yet. I think the big thing is like we're playing on a grass pitch. Like, we train on turf. Like, that is the only time we are ever on a grass pitch. So I'm telling you now that this team, when it gets on turf, is going to be even better. I hope. I've maybe just jinxed it now. We're gonna just.
Yeah, I mean, like it's sort of like going almost back to week 1 here, where Brunel are facing Exeter this weekend. Exeter's going to be their first game of the season. Exeter, they'll be able to go through live streams and see what Brunel can do, but Brunel won't be able to see what Exeter can do. Obviously, new head coach in Jack Mullins at the Demons as well. He's, I think that Jack can do something with the Demons, but it's going to be interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to going down and doing it. And that is 1 p.m. on Sunday on DCS's YouTube. Always get the plugs in. But yeah, so moving on to Scotland, we'll briefly touch on not a postponement this time for Aberdeen. They concede a walkover to Stirling, so not a great start to the season for Aberdeen. Hopefully, they'll be able to rectify what the problems were. I'm not entirely sure if that particular issue is public, so I'm not going to air it out on this show. So
to the millions that watch,
to the millions and millions. So I'm not going to. But again, Aberdeen postponing the game against Edinburgh and now walking over the Stirling Clansmen. Jamie almost correct in his prediction that the Napier Knights would be able to put up the biggest scoreline of the weekend against the Heriot-Watt Wolverines, 53-0.
Unfortunately, you picked in a week where the UE Bullets were playing.
Yeah.
I think that's why I made that prediction. I don't think anyone would have even batted eyelid at that if the UE weren't playing. I didn't think that UE would steamroll like they did this weekend, was my thing. I thought it might. I don't think that they'd struggle in any way, but I didn't think they would get the 56 points in what they did.
But I mean, the more interesting one to come out of this weekend is definitely Edinburgh playing their first game of the season against Glasgow and shutting out Glasgow. And Ramona, unfortunately, not on the show this week, but sending us through some information that she took. So, quarterback Rhys Harris is out for GU with a hand injury sustained last week against Heriot-Watt. The Tigers moved the ball well on the ground with their shifty running back, but couldn't get anything going through the air. Edinburgh DC Ross Young has his unit playing fast and furious with under-19 graduate linebacker Mark Cownan standing out as a key player off the edge. Edinburgh offense struggled early on as pressure from Glasgow shut down the run game. They made the most of short screens to set up big shots downfield to get across the board. Big confidence boost for the new stuff at Edinburgh going into a grudge match with Napier in 2 weeks. Glasgow will be searching for answers as they looked one-dimensional on offense. Same old Glasgow is the problem. I mean, we spoke about it last week with Ramona that Glasgow were before this the third place team behind obviously Stirling, but obviously Stirling getting shut out by the Napier Knights, and now Glasgow getting shut out by the Mavericks. I think when it comes down
Edinburgh
to
1-2.
What? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's an Edinburgh 1-2, and it's and stranger. I mean, it's good. I mean, good for Edinburgh as a city. For their University of American football, but right now it's coming down to the Mavericks versus the Napier Knights, which is, I mean, what you want. But I mean, it's surprising to me that Mavericks have done it. But God, I just love some exciting football. I love it. I just love exciting football. And moving on to some exciting football, again, a big question mark over this game about which team's performance in week 2 was more notable, and that is the Manchester Metropolitan Eagles versus the Manchester Tyrants. Now, the big thing about this game is that the MMU Eagles were leading 14-0 going into halftime.
Oh, that's where the news came from.
Right. Yeah, and it comes about that Manchester Tyrants win that game 16-14.
It was the Instagram post at halftime to then post nothing else. It was like, oh.
When that happens, it's who else had one of those? Was it Glasgow that did the same? Like,
no,
comebacks on. Who was it? They were like comebacks on. It wasn't on.
I don't know. For me, like it was yesterday was the Manchester one, because even I looked at that independently of like any memes. I was like, I want to know what the score is in this game. I'm interested, and they've not posted any. No one's posted anything. But I mean, as much as giving up 16 points. MMU still leading a half against the Tyrants. It's looking okay for MMU, especially when you consider the other game in the Northern One, which is the Liverpool Raptors getting 55-0 shutout to the Lancashire Rams. I mean, not a surprise from you, Jamie.
Not at all. And I think the further we go into this season, the more people will understand what I'm saying, in that the only points that Raptors will score this season will be against Edge Hill. Like, they might get an odd field goal here and there, but they're not going to be up there. And
what I know do you know about Liverpool?
That they're crap.
Oh, there we go. Right, that's it.
Right, well,
that's another episode in the bin. Never mind.
Another episode in the bin. I don't think I can put. I think I can still put the non-explicit tag on this on Spotify. I don't think craps.
Tell us in the comments, guys. It's swear word. Is my nan telling me off for saying that?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I still think that there's still hope in Liverpool. I think I don't think it's gonna be Edge Hill. I don't mean to really have a go at Edge Hill. I think it's MMU versus Liverpool. For me, that's the tester game for the Raptors.
I think that Liverpool taking that promotion up to Prem last year has actually killed that club in some ways. Because how can you recruit people to join your club if you're going to lose every game? I think if they just stayed in Div 1...
They didn't lose every game.
They won one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Apologies. They won one game. Yeah, it's... I think they should have just stayed where they were before and just built up from... What was an okay first season in Div 1?
Yeah, with all due respect, mate, Brunel have only won double the amount of games that Liverpool have in the Prem. Like, get off your high horse. You've won one more game than Liverpool have in the Premiership.
I've only played 2.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Brunel scored more points yesterday than Liverpool did in the entire season.
Oh yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true.
Yeah, I called that before the season that Liverpool were like, yeah, Prem ball. No, you were like 4th choice to go up. Like, let's stop with it. And it's bit them in the ass ever since.
But I mean, what I think is going to be difficult, like within that sort of wild card relegation spot that that Div 1 has, or Div 1 Northern has, because Scotland don't relegate. I didn't think it at first. I thought Leicester could potentially be a dark horse. Another shutout loss for the Longhorns here, this time against Nottingham Green, making their season debut 30-0. Not looking good for the Longhorns at all.
Too early to say that they're going down.
It's also Greens that everyone's put as favourites to win. I don't think that's not the most. It's not like they've had a 50 put on them.
But I just mean in terms of the Midlands one as it stands right now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's more so for me is who else in the Midlands won? Who else? It's not going to be the Sabres. It's not going to be Hallam. It's not going to be Green. 21-31 the score between Derby and Sheffield. That says me Derby can ball out here. It's looking like I don't see anyone else. You're starting off 0-2 in that division. That's a tough division to be in. I can't see it not being Leicester right now. I don't think Derby are going to be relegated. But then I think that goes back to the Northern one in the sense of not obviously, of course, because that sounds harsh. But Edge Hill in that relegation position, 55-0 against the Rams. Jamie, are you picking Liverpool Raptors to head back down to D2?
That's what I put in my early prediction.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And I'll stand by it. It will take an awful lot to change my opinion on that one. And hey, I don't want to become a Raptor hater for the second season in a row. But
you just hate everyone.
I don't hate everyone. I love City Wolfpack.
That's it. You hate everyone else.
Hate Liverpool. Love City.
I've been very hot on Brunel this year as well. I've been doing what Tebs was last year. And Lancaster, I gave Lancaster the credit, and that's it.
We'll get on to Lancaster. But SJ, who have you got? Obviously, it's week 3 now. We've still got lots of season left. Who have you got in that wild card relegation spot from the north?
Liverpool
as well.
I think it'll be Liverpool. I think it's that scoreline says it to me. I know that Lancashire are a good team.
For me, like I don't hate it. Obviously, they've only played one game, but MMU, obviously, having Manchester score 16 and win the game in the second half, but being able to actually compete with the Tyrants, that's not something that MMU have really been able to do over the last few years in Division 1, at least if I recall correctly. So, yeah. So moving on to the southern end of Division 1. Obviously, in the Southern 1 division itself, 2 big games this weekend, 2 big results. Oxford Brookes win the first Cavaliers Cup, but they've not met up with the Lancers for a fair few years, but they take it. Is it time we start talking about, like, I know SJ spoke about it like weeks ago, that Oxford Brookes win that division and potentially push for promotion? Is it time that we turn around and say, this is the year for OBU?
I think they've played the 2 teams that I would put as the weakest 2 in that division right now. But it's looking good. But like
it is looking good. Two big scorelines, and they've got a big test this weekend because they're going to Birmingham for Explosion.
If they win that one, then yeah, I think they're going all the way.
Jamie, any thoughts on OBU?
Yeah, I don't. But yeah, I think exactly what SJ said. It's all dependent on this weekend. If they go and beat Birmingham, you can't
convincingly.
Yeah, we can't really sit and argue with it anymore.
It's one of those things where, like, I just didn't think that they'd be able to do a jump. They've been a team that's been like on the fringe of Div 2, going up. They finally make it up. But I mean, going to play Birmingham at Explosion. I mean, it's not just going to be a normal game for them. I do hope that Explosion does have the large crowds as it has tended to have over the last few years. I know that. I mean, I'll be going to Explosion to go and do some lovely DCS coverage. I don't know if you're going. Going?
I got my dates wrong, didn't I?
Unbelievable.
I'm going to Arsenal versus Chelsea.
Unbelievable stuff. Not dedicated enough.
Chelsea.
No, but I mean, moving on to the other side of that, 15-14, the Lions over the Hurricanes.
Right, this game's ridiculous. This is an absolutely ridiculous game. Look, so from what I got told, I think Brum missed a field goal to go ahead, and then where's he gone?
What do you mean they missed a field goal to go ahead?
They missed a field goal, right? So then that's it. Game's done. Hearts have got the ball. Hearts have fumbled on a QB kneel and given the ball back to Brum. Yeah, I need to know the entire context as to how that's happened, because that shouldn't be happening.
I mean, the footage will come. So the footage will come. I'm hoping. I'm looking to look at the comments on Instagram, and hopefully someone will tell me dinked a field goal and intercepted a spike and scored a field goal. Absolutely sensational. Thank you, Ben, for that one. So
it's got to have been a kneel. There's no way.
Why would you spike it if you were winning?
So how have you got that ball out? I need someone from Brum, please just send us the footage, because I need to see this.
Ben, we're going to wait for your response.
We fumbled QB kneel and they scored a field goal. I know who that QB is watching right now. I'm very disappointed in you.
That is crazy. I mean, I've got nothing to say. That's crazy.
When's it gonna end for Hearts? It's just a constant, just a train of misery. We're not even in your division anymore, and you're still. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Fumbled the snap or fumbled while holding the ball. This is the quick. We're gonna stay on this. We're gonna look at the Instagram comments here.
Ball. I don't know how that could happen. I can understand why there might have been a bit of a dodgy snap kind of thing. Like that one, I can understand. But
was it from under center?
The QB messed up the snap and it bobbled.
Went through the center's legs and got it. Fair. You know what? Fair enough. Shout out that D lineman. Because normally on kneels, everyone's like, it's done. I'm just going to stand here. Let's go. Nah. This ain't done.
Yeah. I mean, you got to respect Birmingham there for being able to get that done. Live, laugh, love, Hearts. But I mean, again, Birmingham come away with the win there. They've got some momentum going into Explosion, and I mean, your first Explosion back down in D1. As far as like Birmingham needs a momentum builder,
back down in Div 1. They've never been in Div 1. That's how mental this is. That it's happening in Div 1.
Okay, then their first ever Explosion in Div 1.
Hey, that could phrase that in the right way, and it sounds positive.
What time to be alive? First D1 explosion. Wow.
First,
genuinely, that fumbled QB Neil has topped the MMU story, and no one thought MMU was going to get better. Like anything was going to be worse than that this week. Like that's.
Yeah, alignment to Jalen Carter. I'm here for it.
I do expect there to be a meme page that is going to take that and probably run with it, and so they should. But I mean, I think Birmingham need to win. Obviously, you need to win every game, but just because it's Explosion, it's your big event. You've been relegated. You need to come away with a victory here for Brum.
What is the overall Explosion record?
That's a good question. I think that we'd have to ask. We may ask Birmingham that. That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
On the clock.
That's crazy. I mean, good job for that kicker. Naismith Bobcats lose this Sunday. That's for the preview show. This is the recap show.
Bloody Cougars.
So moving on to the Southwestern one, the Southampton Stags beat the Plymouth Blitz. The Bobcats do get some points put on them by the Killer Bees, but they
you have not lost once in the last 20 years because I've been there 3 times. You've lost all 3 of them. I don't know how they lost every time I was there, but they did. Sorry.
To be fair, I've only ever been to one Explosion. It was the one against Cardiff where they just steamrolled the Cobras.
I went to when they lost to Swansea and they lost to Bath. Way back when.
Bro, how old are you, man? That's crazy work.
34, according to some people on my team.
That's true, isn't it?
I'm 27.
Unbelievable stuff. So, Southwest, Plymouth lose their return back up to Division 1, 14-26 against Southampton. Bournemouth, 33-13 over the Bath Killer Bees. What are they on now? They're on -3.
They're catching you.
They're catching the rest of the league up.
The positive in all of this is Southwest 1 can score points again now.
Yeah.
It seems that you remove Swansea from the equation, everyone realises how to score points again.
Yeah.
No more 2-0s, no more 3-0s. We're back.
No more questionable games. I mean, when Plymouth getting 14 points against Southampton, I do worry about the Blitz's status in D1. Obviously, they've only played 1 game, but Southampton good. I can't imagine that. I think it's Bath and the Blitz for me is going to be the interesting one. But Bournemouth have got a rematch with the Barracuda this weekend, so could be an interesting one.
I don't think that Bournemouth team is as dominant as last year. I'm not saying they're not good. They're still a very, very, very good team, but they're nowhere near as dominant as last year. Either that or everyone else has got better.
So I will say we have some more information coming in from the MMU game. MMU missed 3 field goals in that game. That's difficult. That is a difficult one. I mean, just one of those games. You walk away with that victory, and everyone's celebrating.
3 field goals as well is that's a lot in a Uniball game.
It depends who you are, SJ. I mean, buddy, Bruno over him. Field goals. What are those, mate? Give it a rest.
We tried one last week. It didn't work. So now we just score instead.
Cuda still can't score. Bournemouth could lose a game this year. But I mean, Bournemouth lose a game this year. Playoffs aren't looking likely for them, and that changes basically the entire dynamic of the South playoffs, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I do think if Bournemouth lose this year, you really have to then switch your attention to both Oxford Brookes and Kent. Obviously, they're both in the periphery in terms of promotion, but if Bournemouth lose a game, then it's OBU and Kent. I mean, I've already said those rankings that I do for the Division 1. Bournemouth lose a game, I don't think they're in it anymore because those playoffs are going to be very, very difficult to come by for the Bobcats. Southeast 1, Brighton make their Southeast debut, defeating UCL 43-0, and KCL beat the Kingston Cougars 30-0.
I mean, I did say that Brighton would do very well in that division.
Yeah, I think I've now got to face that. I mean, I do think Brighton are a good team, but I mean, moving into the Southeast 1, I did say that I think it would save them from being relegated. I think they would have been relegated if they were in the Southern 1. But I mean, defeating UCL, I think middle of the road team in the Southeast 1, that score margin, pretty good.
I'm shocked by that score.
Yeah. I mean, KCL coming in 30-0 against Kingston. You know, Kingston, they've already got a -2 deficit because of the walkover last week. I think having a loss here to that strength against the Regents, they need to pull out. I'll think wrong. I think Kingston may be able to beat UCL, right? But the Kingston are going to need to pick up a win against, you know, a Brighton or a KCL or a Kent if they've got any hope of staying up in Division 1. Right? Is that fair?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. 'Cause it's you know, it's not the team's fault entirely that they're in that spot, but that's the way it goes.
But it's a damaging one in week 2. So moving on to Division 2, and this is where Jamie comes in. Said that I was maybe a year too early on my Lancaster Glaze. They beat the Stallions 15-0.
It's not convincing, is it? But the win's a win. Win every game. You go up.
Exactly right. Like, I still think that there's some tough opponents in that Northwestern division. Obviously, LJMU they haven't played yet. We got the Bucks debut of the Salford Storm this Sunday as well, playing Kiel. So it's going to be interesting to see. Lancaster take a good step forward, but I mean, I think LJMU, have we covered Div 1 South? Yes.
We have.
We have.
Quite a lot.
Yeah. With Staffordshire now taking that loss, there's 3 good teams in that division with Lancaster, with LJMU, with Salford as well. Staffordshire, I mean, I think they needed this win to really, really kickstart any sort of promotional aspirations, and they couldn't come away with it.
Div 2 is so dark. You basically have to go undefeated to go up.
Yeah, you do. Like, realistically, if you look at it last year, it was only Kingston, they had a loss. Plymouth didn't have a loss. Who came up from
OBU didn't have a loss.
OBU didn't have a loss. Sheffield didn't have a loss. Derby didn't have a loss in the regular season, of course. And then Edge Hill did lose. So it was Edge Hill and Kingston were the only ones who were promoted.
Look at this ball knowledge, man. We cover all regions of this country and Scotland so well.
Yeah. So Chris, I think I'm fairly certain Chris Treacle is the head coach of Staffordshire.
Chris Treacy is the head coach, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Stallions versus Lancashire was not a good game for offense. And I mean, you know, coming in your head coach saying that, I mean, there's definitely some work. So I think even in Coach Treacle's one question he said that, you know, it's about developing this year for Staffordshire. Bombers have a Canadian Republican at QB.
What is a Canadian Republican?
What does that mean?
What?
Losing every game, the defense doesn't have a shutout. Right? What?
Give us that info.
You could have just said a Canadian. What's the man's political leanings got to do with anything? You know, like. My guy out here playing some proper right-wing football. Oh my god!
You said double wing, not right wing.
So obviously we had a couple of games get postponed: Surrey and Solent, and Hull and York St John. So
do we know
Solent we do, but I don't know if it's public. York St John versus Hull, I don't know.
I did some digging and no one seemed to know. Like, even people that were involved, no one knew.
The teams at the club were like, "Oh, we're not playing this week."
Both teams played it was out of our controls' hands, and that was about as far as it went. I would say that there's probably a pitch issue with it being Hull. There's probably a pitch issue, knowing what they're like, and then they'll have made an agreement that they could reschedule it. Is usually how it goes, but. Like, honestly, there was people that coach at the team now. I asked them and they went, "We don't know."
Strong. So I will say Coach Treacle, he meant for both sides. Staff's fumbled the ball 4 times and threw 2 picks. Both teams had about 50 yards on offense. That is some proper British American
Uniball.
That's proper Uniball.
Bombers had about a 20% completion rate and was sacked 7 times.
What is this game?
God, this is is there footage of this game? Can you send it to us?
Do we want to sit through that?
Yes, I want to see MMU versus Tyrants. I want to see Lions versus Hurricanes, and I need to see Bombers.
20%.
I want to say I want to see Bombers versus Stallions. So
I really want to try and figure out if we can figure out that he's a Canadian Republican, and if there's something in that play that makes us think, yeah, like
I'm so confused on that one.
Just play with a Canadian branded "Don't Tread on Me" flag or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Staffs have the full game on their YouTube channel.
Let's do a watch along tomorrow, guys.
Watch along. SJ's going to be typing in the computer. We will get to the Gloucestershire Gladiators versus Taranai Aberystwyth. Hull have no posts. Hull have no posts.
Oh, it's happened again. The winds made the post not happen.
Hang on a minute. No.
Oh, actually,
SJ, because there's no posts.
SJ. Look at the Instagram. It was 17.9%. It's being burnt. I'll add SJ to our quick cut account.
Thanks, Chris.
This is a result.
So for context, Chris was DC 1 year when I was at Brunel.
Oh, nice.
That happened a few years ago where we only had one set of posts, so we had to play against York, I think it was. And whenever the ball would get turned over, everyone had to swap sides. Like it was a change of quarter because we could only play one direction in the pitch.
But if you've got no post, you can still play a game. You don't need the post.
I think you can refuse, can't you? I think teams can.
I think you can refuse. Yeah,
you can, but it's just get on with it.
I told you.
Utter woke nonsense.
Mate, are you a Canadian Republican with attitudes like that? So we got one more game to cover, and this is for me anyway. And it sounds bad because I was the CC of this club at one point. The Gloucestershire Gladiators 50, Aberystwyth Taranai 0 game called at the end of the third, and I got sent through the stats. I did speak to head coach Simon Bennett. At the end of as soon as I saw the scoreline, I called him. Hold on a second. We got some more. YSJ, SU, and Hull both refused. Both teams was down. Okay.
Right, as a former sports administrator, if you're telling me I've got to do more work instead of just getting a game played, what are they doing up there? Hull's SU though, great bar. I will give them that.
It's a Wetherspoons, isn't it? Official Wetherspoons.
It's so good. I'm very impressed. But yeah, no, that's what. Just get on with it. Not happy. I was telling Roy Keane.
That for me speaks volumes of confidence in their own abilities, because that means that they think that they're going to need a field goal to win.
That's a good way of looking at it, actually.
Because normally you'd go, no, we're just going to steamroll them and we'll just win, just score 2 points all the time.
Can I go back to the throw to the last game? Or do we want to keep talking about this?
Let's just go to the last game.
You were the one that put the comment up.
Yeah, go to the last game. Gloucester. Yeah, well done.
See you
next Friday. Bye.
Give them their apology. Do it on stream. Give them their apology and get it out of the way.
No. No, I'm not. I'm not going to apologise. Great day. Great day for Ollie Sweeney. Great day for the new coaching staff. They pick up their first win, dominating Aberystwyth. But I think the question, if we take away from Gloucestershire, fantastic. It makes me want to go and watch another Gloucestershire game, which I'll definitely go and do at some point. But it lends itself to the question of, we spoke about it last week, Aberystwyth, small uni, made the playoffs the last 3 years, not being able to finish that game against the Gladiators. Is this the end of the sort of playoff, legacy here of the Aberystwyth Taranai?
It's dead.
Oh, okay.
It's dead. It's gone. Because if you think about it, right, okay, so Gloucester beat them like that. Uwe convincingly beat Gloucester. It's not looking good, Brev.
It's not looking fantastic for Aberystwyth. And I mean, you do have to say that the sort of Royals versus Glads in a few weeks, they had more players than us.
Why did you put a question mark on that? You were at the game.
Like Simon, what's that got to do with what we're saying? We're talking about Aberystwyth. I could talk about the Glads thing being dead, but it's not because you've won. So I don't know what you're trying to get me to talk about here, Simon.
You're talking about in like their recruitment in that they had. It's not like they're really short on numbers, I think is what he's getting at.
Yeah, but that's not the point I'm making. I'm saying that I think that they're
confused.
I think their bubbles. I'm just saying that I think their bubbles have, but their bubble has burst. That's all I'm saying.
You could have 99 players, but if they're all useless, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the bubble's still exactly like. I don't know what you're getting at, Simon, but yeah, I think it could be a case of Aber. I mean, obviously, unfortunately, the sort of measuring stick for the Southwest 2, I'd say, is Bath Spa. Aberystwyth lose to Bath Spa, then then it's definitely. That's not harsh, is it? Really? Is it? I mean, it is. I like Bath. I like Bath Spa, but it's true.
That's just not nice.
Giving Hearts grief, and you're not even in their div anymore. Like, it was fine when you were in their div, but you're just hating on Hearts for the sake of it.
I didn't even grief them. I just said I'm just disappointed. I'm not angry.
And then you did expose the QB for fumbling a QB kneel as well.
Exactly. Yeah, you didn't have to say that. You've ruined their franchise.
In the comments, someone from Brum was going to say it in the comments.
You've ruined the franchise. You're giving me grief because Bath Spa haven't won a game in 2 years, and I'm going if Aberystwyth lose to Bath Spa, that's probably a bad thing. That is a bad thing.
Have you covered Div 1 South? This is the same person asking us again.
Yes, we covered Div 1 South. Yes,
about Div 1 South.
Yes, just the stream will be over in a second. Gloucester versus Worcester. What's the? I'll talk about it off stream. I mean, that's it really. Week 3, good week. I think week 4 could be a good week. Obviously, we'll be at Brunel for Exeter coming to face the Burners in their first game of the season. Do still keep on going with the competitions that will be drawn on Friday.
Keep following.
Keep following. It's the only thing that keeps me going. It's the only thing that keeps me alive.
The hot tub's been warm.
I don't. The hot tub is getting warm. If Aber lose to Bath Spa, they need relegated. I mean,
just this competition, right? If Brunel and Cuda win, we're in trouble in terms of being definitely. An organisation not affiliated to a team.
Yeah.
If the Bullets win the game balls, we're just vetoing it.
Yeah. Sorry, Ethan. Sorry, Q, mate, but no, you're not winning the game balls. That needs to go to a team.
I'm telling you, I really want a flag team to win.
You're about to say a team more in need.
Win it.
Yeah. To be fair, actually, Coach Eagle's got a good point here. He's like, we've played 25% of our fixtures now. Cheers, Bucks. I forget that division's only got 4 games.
Royals versus Glads. Winner gets Tebs in their jersey.
You're fine. Oh God, Worcester jersey. I wouldn't be allowed back in Cheltenham. That's it. I mean, keep posting. That will be drawn on the preview show.
Yeah, I've got my work cut out this week, but that's what I will be doing, Chris.
What's that?
Deleting every comment that aren't Brunel.
Yeah. That's it. I've got nothing else to say.
That's it. Yeah, I got.
That's
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Watch the game. Watch the game on Sunday. Watch the live stream on Friday.
Go watch the game back from yesterday. Just give us more views. Do it.
Yeah. Give us more views. Jamie, do you want to talk to the people about the Daily Bugle?
I've had to put it on pause.